short, I was trying to talk myself into getting these lock extensions, and I prayed about it. Spirit kind of told me, it was like, well, don't you trust me? It felt like it was coming from the Lord. Hey YouTube, welcome to another part of the house. This is the bonus room. Thought I might give you guys a different background today. You know, you usually see my bathroom. So this is hopefully fun for you guys, right? So I mentioned in my previous video, and I realized that I actually did post something about my locks on my YouTube channel. So you guys were not as blindsided by the, attempt at micro locks that I had thought you were. I have begun a micro lock journey, and I just kind of wanted to come and talk to you guys about the whole mental process of that and just how we got here. A great deal of this journey has to do with my relationship with Christ. And I want to start off by kind of explaining the history that I have developed and the relationship that I have always had with my hair first. And I'm just going to start by providing a quote by my sister-in-law that was provided to me back in I want to say early college, right as I was really beginning my natural hair journey. And that quote went something along the lines of, hair is so impactful to your overall look. In the event that you are dressed down and dressed casual, maybe you got on sweats, maybe you didn't do your face today, but if your hair is on point, you still kind of slay. But in the event that you actually dress up and you do a full face and you're wearing a pantsuit or, I don't know, really beautiful dress and heels, but if your hair is not done, it really messes up the whole vibe or the whole look. And I was like, yo, she's right. And so that kind of developed this relationship with my hair, with hair in general for me, that in order to be seen as beautiful, your hair has to be on point. And I think it's pretty safe to say that that is the relationship that most, if not all, Black women probably have with their hair. So I transitioned using micro braids. And I actually fell in love with that look throughout my transitioning period, transitioning fully into natural. And I remember thinking about sister locks and micro locks around that time, as early as my transitional period, which was 10 years ago. And I was just deterred. And so I had been considering locks for a really long time, but a lot of other people's opinions about locks kind of infiltrated and my mindset on them. I thought they would be considered unprofessional. I was like, I won't get a job. I had all these negative correlations with, although I thought they were so beautiful, right? My perception and perspective of locks was not the perspective of society. Just a small preview into where my hair was when I made this decision to get locks. I had been 7 years natural before I moved to China and taught abroad for about 2.5 years. And while I was there, I had this burning desire to see my length. I had been natural for 7 years. I had a pretty, healthy looking afro, even though I've always had fine hair and I always felt like my hair was kind of see-through. I did have a pretty thick and full afro. And I just wanted to see it straightened. I just wanted to see my length. And I decided, my smart self decided to put my trust in the hands of a Chinese salon that was near my house out there, my apartment out there. And through some translation, issues. Like, I'm using Google App Translator, no disrespect to the Google Translator, but I'm using the Google Translator, so is he, and I told him that I just wanted my hair straightened. There was a miscommunication. So he's stirring up some stuff in front of me, and I'm like, I think I asked him, what is that? And he countered me with like his translation saying, this is a conditioner that will just allow your hair to stay straightened a little bit longer. So I was like, okay. Put it in. As it turns out, that was a perm. I paid a lot of money essentially to get a perm, which was not what I wanted. I did not want a permanent straight style. So that was about 4 years ago now that happened. And so then I had to go through a whole new transitional period. It was painful. I could not do it. I just couldn't bring myself to go through that like awkward phase in my natural hair. And so I actually maintained relaxing my hair. Although all those relaxed ends are gone right now, what you see here is all new growth from that time, actually. But I've proceeded to relax my new growth with like Just For Me, a kitty relaxer. I would leave it on for 5 minutes. So I think basically what I did was I transitioned from a full-blown relaxer to a texturizer, I think, because I didn't necessarily get my hair bone straight, but it did loosen my curl pattern, and I just continued down that path because the shrinkage, I didn't want to deal with shrinkage again. I messed up, and I was like, I'm gonna just own my mistake, and I actually continued to get relaxed.
Feeling it right now. Oh, no. I don't even think Cardi B does that anymore. Okay.
So what you see here is actually relaxed ends with about maybe like this much of new growth at the top. And I just decided to like lock it like that. And then I kind of want to segue into the two things that made me decide to just go ahead and get my locks started. Okay, so one of those two things was the advice from a acquaintance that I met in my church group. She has these beautiful long red locks, and anytime I saw somebody with locks, I was right there complimenting them because I just think they're such a good look. I think they're so pretty. So of course I'm like, hey, I love your hair. Like, I've always considered locking. I'm just like afraid to make that leap. And you know, she asked me why, and my reasoning was that I just didn't want to go through that ugly duckling phase. Like, my hair is very fine. I honestly thought I was gonna look like Old Dirty Bastard. And no disrespect to anybody whose lock journey does look a lot like that, you know, I just didn't think that it would fit my frame, my head shape, my, like, you know what I mean? Like, I just didn't want to go through that ugly duckling phase that all hair goes through, that awkward maturation phase. Is that a word? I don't think so, but you all know what I mean. That was my reason. And she was like, well, to be honest with you and to be completely fair, like, you're gonna go through that no matter when you start your lock journey, so why not just get it over with now? And I was like, yo, that was a word. Did not consider that. Why not just get the ugly duckling phase over now? So that was one. It was time for me to relax my hair again. I had like about this much new growth, and there was something else that chimed into my mental, or came across my like thought process as I was planning to relax my new growth. So I am a huge Bindi Mark fan. I love watching her videos, and she has really helped me kind of reshape my mentality about how I viewed love and marriage and just all these things, that what it means to be a stay-at-home like housewife and or mother, like all of those things like that I never really considered and thought about myself, Black women in general, what we're capable of, what we are deserving of. Love her, just love her. I actually stumbled upon her because I was researching starting locks on relaxed hair, and she was someone who did that, and her videos were very inspiring, both her lock journey as well as like her content. One of her videos was, I think, doing a book review of a book. Can't tell you the name of the book. I just remember what was said about it and her ideas about it. And I think the book was talking about weight gain, and just how women should anticipate and expect to gain a significant amount of weight with age, and it's normal and it's nothing to be concerned about. And any man, especially your husband, who makes you feel inadequate because of your weight gain, or makes you feel like you need to do something about it or lose it, or that you're not beautiful because of it, like, is a piece of crap. And you know, the Lord would never want that for you, basically, was what the book was saying. And Bindi kind of countered it with her own story during her childbearing years, like when she was either planning to have a kid or when she was currently pregnant. And she went to the doctor, and the doctor insisted that she lose about 10 pounds, I think, or something like that, if she wanted to maintain a healthy weight, both during the pregnancy and like after giving birth. And she was at first very offended, and couldn't believe that her doctor would advise her to lose weight. How dare you? And then she kind of correlated it to the advice of the book. And she was basically saying, like, which would you be better for 5 years from now if you actually listened to that advice and that guidance? And obviously the answer to that question was she would be better off if she listened to her doctor and maintained a healthy weight by losing 10 pounds or attempting to lose 10 pounds in the now. So that was the question that I pondered as I was about to relax my hair. I told myself I could either relax my hair right now and continue down this path of depending completely upon protective styles, such as braids with extensions, wigs, weaves, sew-ins, whatever. I could continue to be completely dependent upon protective styling, which always required me to add some sort of extension, right? That's me. I'm not saying it did require that, but that's how I felt. Or I could start my lock journey and embark on this journey, just get through the ugly duckling phase, and in 5 years from now, and in 5 years from now, and in 5 years, or 5 years from now, I would, God willing, have these long, beautiful locks, similar to what Bindi's looks like now. Another thing that I really considered was getting extensions added onto my locks. I was really considering like either using that like bulk human hair, Afro human hair, to add some length and some volume to my locks. I was really considering that because, you know, if I did it that way, I would get to skip that ugly duckling phase, right? I was like super excited to skip it. And then once my hair got to a certain length, you know, a likable length, I just cut the extensions off, and now I could say it's all mine. Like, you know, and no one would ask because locks look natural anyway. Like, maybe nobody would even question if they're... Long story short, I was trying to talk myself into getting these lock extensions, and I prayed about it. Spirit kind of told me, it was like, well, don't you trust me? It felt like it was coming from the Lord. But it was like, don't you trust God? Like, don't you trust the Lord, like, to allow your hair to do wonderful things during this journey? Like, why do you think you still need extensions? Why do you still need added length and added volume? Don't you trust the process? Don't you trust your own hair? Don't you trust what God gave you? Yo. Of course, my answer in my head was, yes, of course I trust you. But my actions for the past, 10 years has been saying, no, I don't trust you. And I didn't trust my hair. I did not trust wearing my natural hair out. If I straightened it, it reverted. If I wanted to wear a blowout, it shrunk. If I wanted to do a braid out or a twist out, the curls did not hold. If I wanted you know, to curl it, it would fall straight. Like anything that I asked my hair to do, it essentially did the opposite. And that was why I was okay with just continuing that relaxed hair journey, or that Tex-Lax journey, after I messed up and got that perm in China. I did not trust my hair, which in turn kind of showed me like I didn't trust him either. That was mind-boggling, and I decided to just start my locks on my natural hair and not add any extensions to it for fullness or for length, and just putting all my trust in him through my relationship with my hair. And I just wanted to come on here and share that with you guys because I thought it was deep.